Welcome back to Opa Podcast, episode 68.5. That is right. We're going with episode 68.5 because it's so hard to get to that special episode 69. We're only half the crew today. It's me, Jason, along with Soup. Say hi, Soup.
Hi.
So we're saving that for next preview versus Iowa and recapping Michigan, as we do have a bye week next week. And as Soup always says, we always win the bye.
It's true, we do.
But to start off, we are recapping the Golden Gophers' victory over Louisiana Lafayette, the Ragin Cajuns, winning 35-24 last weekend, moving the Gophers to 3-2 overall. Some quick items here. Only Griffin sent us some notes, so we'll go defense and then offense and special teams. All right, Soup?
Let's do it.
So overall, Griffin thought it was a great confidence-boosting game for the defense. Great adjustments by Joe Rossi. Defense held their own all season, and it gave the offense a chance to win. But it's particularly in the second half where they played almost lights out, except lights up. Towards the end was that second touchdown, but other than that, defense played a pretty solid game.
First drive, not great, but okay.
Yeah, for me, it was that first drive. That was ugly.
It's just the classic first drive for us where we just forget how to tackle for the first quarter of the game, every game.
Yeah. And then I do have
mainly the linebackers. The way this defense is designed is to like kind of like funnel like in the run game, because like there's always like these big runs based off like missed tackles and like stuff like that. And I think part of it is because like they're trying to, keep everything in front of them, and your linebackers, come and clean up, right? Pretty basic stuff. But we just miss so many tackles early in the game. It's wild.
Yeah. I'm not sure if it's like it's that first drive, because I believe who's on the field. So Maverick Baranowski and who was the other linebacker on the field? I'm blanking on their name, but yeah, poor tackling. Like I will say this, like overall, I'm very happy that Maverick has been getting better as the season goes on, especially being a young guy.
He's in the right spot.
Yeah.
He's in the right spot like most of, if not all of the time.
Mm-hmm.
But the tackling, my guy.
Yeah. But also on top of that, if you're not a Justin Wally or Tyler Nubin's not on coverage, outside of those two names, and maybe the transfer Trayvon. So like, was it Justin Watson? What's his first name? Watson, our other defensive back, got torched a lot by the Ragin Cajuns wide receiver core. Either pressing too hard and he misses the hitch on the route with the receiver, or got hella juked. That let him get chunk yardage of over 10 yards. I'm not sure if they broke more than that, but you get what I mean. They broke more than 10 yards per play, and especially when it's on like a big third down, when there is like a 3rd and 10 situation, and that happens. So I think the defense has been better in the past. It's just that a lot of young guys just missing tackles or coverages. Even though Joe Rossi, I do have to give Rossi credit though, he does put his guys in the best places possible. It's just they have to perform on the field when that happens, and unfortunately in some cases it did not happen. I would say would you say the first half and that last drive towards the end of the game per se, or am I too pissed off about how things went last weekend?
No. I mean, even if you just look at the like win probability graph, it was like pretty like tilted towards Louisiana Lafayette for the beginning of the game. And I think a lot of it was because it was just like, we cannot get a stop right now, like to start the game. It was very weird. We were like, what is happening? You know what I mean? Like, so And that's kudos to them. I think they were very very efficient to start the game, and then I think they we adjusted well to the second half, and then they score a weird touchdown in the fourth quarter on a fourth down play because Maverick Baranowski misses another tackle on fourth down. I mean, they would have converted either way, but if he makes this tackle, it's not a touchdown. And you know, uh, to me, I wasn't sure if it was like what look the Gophers were in. Like, where's that safety on that? So um, but like that's like a weird one. I think maybe it's a play where they had run in the safety cover zero. The guy's blitzed or blocked by somebody, right? Like, and he just gets outside and he scores. But other than that, like the second half was a lot better. And hello, Anthony Smith. Good to see you.
And I do want to give a shout out to, as I pulled up the stat, we did get turnovers this game thanks to our defense as well. Where is it?
Jack Henderson had one.
Jack Henderson transfer from the same school as who was?
He's from Louisiana too.
Yeah, from Louisiana, Jack Henderson, and then there's one more. Oh yeah, Tyler Nubin as well. So both defensive players.
Yeah, that was a nice play by Nubin.
Yeah, came in clutch as well.
And I think that's part of why we're seeing more big plays in the passing game.
Yeah,
is because they're letting Nubin be really aggressive, and I think he's really good at that. But I think teams are like aware of that, and they're punishing him for it too. So I think there's a little bit of chess match going on between Nubin and between offensive coordinators right now.
I mean, he is a difference maker on the field too. So
yeah, he's their best player on defense by far.
But I know we talked about this off air, but we have to mention on air, Soup. When is Ja Joyner ever going to get a holding call?
Yeah, I was just doing my rewatch and I posted a screenshot of the end of the game. It's like second down of their last drive where they end up scoring that weird fourth down touchdown. And Ja is just getting like hugged and eventually gets tackled after being hugged for 15 yards. And it's just, I don't know what they have to do. He has to do at this point. He's like, because I feel like we were all like, oh, well, he's missing sacks. Like he's right there, but he's just not getting it. He's not finishing for whatever reason. And I think we're now seeing why he's getting like held consistently inside his shoulder pads, like constantly, because he's doing a really good job of containing these mobile quarterbacks they've played to start the year with like Drake May and this guy, like they've played some solid mobile quarterback, Jeff Sims in the first game. And the strategy there is you just kind of like push them back vertically down the field. And as long as you're able to stay inside the offensive tackle, they can't escape. And so he's doing that very well. And then as he transitions to start moving inside and attack the quarterback, they're just holding on. And it doesn't look like holding because it's not the guy coming around the edge and he gets like grabbed by the chest plate and dragged to the ground. Like this is much more subtle, and I think that's why it's getting missed so much. But there are ones that are just like really bad that are like, come on.
Yeah.
Like when you then ride the guy for 15 feet and take him to the ground,
Yeah. And that totally sucks, but hopefully something's got to change. We'll see what happens in the next game. But yeah, this guy, Ja really needs some help here because he's getting held almost every time.
It's bad. It's just constant for him, and I feel bad.
Yeah. Other defensive highlights, besides obviously horrific first half, things got cleaned up, buttoned up second half, and then the last touchdown. I thought it was a good bounce back game for the defense. I think overall though, just because after that fourth quarter collapse against Northwestern, I think this game, for me, it reinforced that, okay, Joe Rossi, what he is doing to put our players in the best spots on defense
Hmm.
is working. Like he knows
Yeah.
what he's doing. He knows what the talent and guys that
There's a
we
lot of
have.
young players out there making young player
Yeah.
mistakes, and then you've got your star free safety that you've given a little more liberty to, which is great, and he deserves it. Teams are just kind of savvy to that and like punishing him for that specifically a little more. And I think that's just an adjustment that everybody makes, and that's just football, right? That's just like good players and good coaches going at it basically. So that's
Hmm.
something that you're always going to deal with. But I do think it's a step in the right direction for them. I think they cannot come out flat this next game. They just can't.
Oh,
You
definitely
cannot
not.
come out flat. But I think they did a good job. They were good against the run again, and they limited explosive plays for the most part. But um, they can still probably do a better job about that. There's explosive plays that are like due to people making plays, and that happens because they have good players too. But it's for us, it's just like coverage breakdowns and missed assignments, missed tackles, like stuff like that is like what's going on right now. And I think that's what's aggravating is when you see like you have like a solid drive. It's like you get them for like nothing, like an incompletion on first down. Second down, they run for like 3 or 4 yards. It's third and 6 and 7, and then it's like, there's 15 yards. It's like, what just had like why?
Hmm. But other than that, I guess we can call that a wrap for the defense.
Sure.
All right. Moving on to offense, I'll start off with Griffin's notes, going down the pecking order here. He thought Ethan, our quarterback, stayed efficient this game, which helps with his confidence. Did not like that INT before the end of the first half. Going on from there, running back depth continues to be a worth for us, especially with DT Darius Taylor being out. Zach Evans, Sean Tyler, and Bryce Williams carrying the load, being the running back carousel that we have, did well. And a shout out to Zach Evans getting Big Ten Freshman of the Week, which, if you think about it, with Darius Taylor getting it for 3 weeks straight, this is now the fourth week the Gophers have held that
Or freshman in a
award
row.
for a freshman. Yeah. So big kudos to that. And then moving on from there, Griffin really liked which is his big thing on the offense, was actually converting touchdowns in the red zone, no field goals or going out with no points, which is very amazing and keeping us out of close games. And then the O-line doing their job to win at the line of scrimmage and allow our backs to do what they want to do. But we can dissect that more. But I just have to say it. I think when DT is healthy and hoping he's back for Michigan here, I think DT and ZE, Zach Evans, I think is our pair. And I hate to say it, but I think Sean Tyler, he is a spare, but he's more of a gadget, as you mentioned in the past, Soup, a very gadgety running back and
Oh,
talent.
we'll get to Sean Tyler. Sean Tyler should be getting plenty of more touches on
Yeah,
special teams.
yeah. But I'm really happy with what our running backs did, though, honestly. Like, I was worried because Darius Taylor was out, but then getting to see Zach Evans on the field doing what PJ and the staff has been praising about him the last 2 years. Finally amazing to see that happen. Bryce Williams actually getting some touches was amazing too. Like, he's essentially the elder statesman in that running back room, and just like being able to convert fourth downs and or converting first downs in general, just so he can help us eat the clock and stuff. Running classic PJ.
Bryce has a role on this team, but I think he should be RB3, and Sean Tyler should be like your special teams guy.
Okay.
We can get to why later, but I think Sean Tyler should be your kick returner and your punt returner if he can catch punts.
Mm-hmm.
But if he can't catch punts, it should be anyone not named Redding.
We'll get to that in a moment. But yeah, I really like what the running backs did this game. Like,
Oh
very
yeah, I
strong
agree.
performance.
Yeah, that touchdown run by Zach Evans was very nice. It's the Gophers, as we lament, run so much inside zone, and then they start running some outside zone with Zach Evans, and he really looked comfortable running outside zone. I don't think you can, uh, you know, I think the cat is out of the bag on Zach Evans, and I don't know how you don't play a mix of both him and Darius Taylor when they get back when he gets back to keep both of them healthy. But obviously, Taylor is your one. But now you have just let Zach Evans be your two, and Bryce Williams can be your three, and like pass protector if you really, really need him to be. And let Sean Tyler go be your special teams ace. We can get there, but like I really think that solves like this issue for you.
Hmm. And then if you think about it, even though we like Sean Tyler as more of the special teams ace, he is still a gadgety running back. Kind of, it reminds me of Cordero Patterson later in his career, and I think he's still doing that, like with the Patriots and Falcons, being that gadgety
Sure.
guy on the offense as well. So
From a role perspective, yeah, Sean Tyler's like a very like small back
yeah,
though.
so I'm really liking that. But then going on from there, um, Ethan had an efficient game, clean as I think best we can have. Besides that, I thought was a bone. I think you guys saw it too. Well, at the game, it was a boneheaded into coverage, forcing a ball down the field, which wasn't
Yeah,
great.
that was like him trying to fit the ball in between the safety over the top and the linebacker, but he just left. He just left way too much on it, and he lofted it way too much. And like, it, you need to. That's like that deep high throw is like for outside the numbers. Like this is like up there too long, and it just hits the guy in the chest. You know what I mean? It's like so easy for them to catch too, and I think that one's just like an oops, yeah, let's not do that again. Moving on.
I do have one bone to pick. I don't know if it's just like being nitpicky at this point as well. Well, actually, we're always nitpicky about every game, no matter if it's good or bad. Um, but I was not happy with how that last drive for the Gophers before halftime was going.
Yeah, that was really lame.
Yeah, like I heard some of the boos that come through the TV broadcast. Was it more prevalent when you were there, Soup?
Uh, I mean, I don't think it was that bad.
Mm-hmm.
Like people were just like, "Oh, boo," like come on, like at least
Yeah,
try and score,
yeah, because like
like
I was watching it. I think my girlfriend was like, what are you getting angry about? I'm like, they're just letting 40. They just let 40 seconds of clock eat away, and we have like what, a minute and 30, minute 20 left in the half to not only score points, but so not only to increase his lead, but also get the ball back at halftime.
yeah, you can double dip.
Yeah, and
They just don't do it.
and
They
I
just decide not to do it, but they do
yeah,
it against like UNC. You know what I mean? Like I think
yeah,
they'll do it against Michigan, but like why not try it here? Like
yeah.
it's much lower stakes here. Like this is great reps for your young quarterback to let him push the ball down the field in a 2-minute situation. But I mean, didn't he like just throw the pick too? So
Yeah, like he threw the pick, I think, with like a minute 17 left on the clock, or something like that. But that's something I would, I don't know if you would agree, but I think I would pin that on PJ. Like, the
I mean, it's a bad pick.
yeah, that too, a bad pick with how he forced the ball down. But I just think
It's
overall,
bad.
the drive overall, from like the poor, no
It's
hurry up situation for the last 2 minutes, like 2 minute drill situation, to then throwing a pick down the field was
yeah.
just a bad drive.
But yeah, not running your 2-minute drill is like what we're more upset about. You know what I mean? Like we're both more upset about like it's just bad situational football. It's just not smart. It's really good reps for a young quarterback. Yeah, he threw a pick, but like Ethan only gets like 14 to 18 throws a game. You know what I mean? It's like every throw for him is like you have to have it. And I think people are forgetting there's like 2 or 3 PIs in here for like probably a total of 70 yards more.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Like like they had some bombs get interfered with that I think receivers had plays on the ball. So, like I just they just need to let him throw. Like I think they understand what he's good at and they're slowly kind of ramping him up right now. And I just want to see like more like of the easy stuff for him. You know what I mean? Like 2 to 3 yard shallow crossers or spot routes to Brevin or like Elijah Spencer just running like a mesh concept across his field with Djax. Like scheme out some like easy completions for him that are basically runs, like but not behind the line of scrimmage. And just let him like stay in rhythm that way because I think right now you're still asking every throw of his to be impactful and you're not leaving him any room to like make mistakes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's going to make mistakes. You know that about him. That's who he is. Like that's okay. He's young. Like that'll get better, but like the upside of like letting him cook basically is there. Like that fourth down is so good. He has gotten much better and I know this was a concern that Griffin had towards the start of the season is just like Ethan's ball fake being like not lazy, but just like also not that good. It's gotten a lot better, and it was good and impactful in this
Yep.
game. Like when they score this touchdown to put the game away, it is a much better fake than it's been.
And I will say this too from the TV
Oh yeah.
broadcast. I think you rewatched it too, Soup. The times when it's fourth down and you're seeing Ethan yelling at the sideline to say, "Hey, let's do this. Let's go for it." Like
Yeah,
being
I think that's a significant moment too. I
yeah.
think them getting a touchdown on a fourth down like that is a significant moment. And they went forward on fourth down earlier in the game too, but it was just like a weird wildcat play call for whatever reason.
Mhm.
But I think the play calling has gotten a lot better. I think they figured out like a I think they're scratching at this at something here with Ethan. I think they're kind of figuring out what they like to do together, and I feel the chemistry I think is starting to get there with these two. And I think they really are just going to have to
And,
let it loose this game.
and
It's
to the
going to be very
listeners, is we're talking
interesting.
about Coach Harbaugh,
Yeah,
offensive coordinator who's up in the booth and quarterbacks coach. So that's who we're talking
and
about, by the way.
and he's the primary play caller too.
Yep. I do agree with that. Like, play calling has gotten a lot better, suiting more towards his strengths. But I think we gotta unload everything that we know this offense can be good at for Michigan, just because they have a very very good defense that's coming up. But I know
Yeah, they have
I'm getting
no
ahead of
choice.
myself here. But
That's
yeah,
why I'm excited. They have but no choice to do it.
yep, and it's at home too. So, um,
I'm hearing sellout is what I'm hearing.
ooh, I like that. Before we move on to Michigan, I want to touch special teams, and I wish Wyatt was here to talk more about it. He was just as pissed as all of us were as well. First off, when we talk about special teams, I'm keeping Dragon Kesich out of this conversation because he has not
Yeah,
been a
special
problem.
teams asterisk Dragon Kesich.
Yeah.
We love you.
So first
Keep
off,
doing your thing.
on the first or the first kickoff for the Gophers to receive, fucking Quentin Redding.
It's honestly just it's comical at this point, right? Like
Yeah.
it is just absolutely comical at this point.
It's for our listeners. If you need a recap, and I know you don't, some of our listeners and viewers don't want to rehear this, but let's see. I think Quentin was on our 4 yard line ish. There, he fields the ball, but then proceeds.
A ball that was clearly going out of bounds.
Yep, he catches it, goes out of bounds, which essentially sets our offense up on our 4 yard line.
And then we punt and everyone gets mad. And I'm like, well, duh.
Like that's expected. So yeah, very poor field position. I know PJ ripped it on him on the broadcast,
sure, but
but
PJ keeps putting him back
yeah,
out
he kept
there.
putting it back in. I was like, this is where here's the Sean Tyler moment that we want. He has experience in the return game back at Western Michigan, and how
He has touchdowns,
yes,
multiple touchdowns.
and he's a smaller, fast dude.
And he's not getting as many touches in your offense right now. I'm sure they'll find a way to get him the football.
Yeah, but
But he's not getting that many right now, and he probably won't with the emergence of Zach Evans and Darius Taylor.
and I think that's your perfect moment because right now, if your parent to spare is DT, ZE, and Bryce, then Sean is like is the guy.
That's without even mentioning like Daniel Jackson is just so good, and Elijah or Corey Crooms looks dependable out there too.
Yeah. So I don't know why if it's PJ like say he's like a great player off the field, like okay great, but he is not
He
performing
has
to the
made
level.
too many mistakes that have hurt you,
Yes.
that have hurt your football team. You preach all this accountability, like you preach all of this accountability, and you just don't. You know, like what? Why is it with special teams is like the only part of this team, including the coach, with just no accountability.
Yeah.
Which is so weird.
Yeah, and I will say this too. With the and towards the end of the game where the Ragin Cajuns did that onside kick, kudos to Bryce Coleman, who was very far from that football to recover that onside kick. So I do have to give him credit. But back to, I don't know. I feel like special teams has been like a shit show. Not shit show, but like.
I didn't get that.
Oh,
Could you try again?
hey, I'm so pissed off that like Siri responds on my Apple Watch. I don't know. This special teams just pisses me off, and after
there's
so
no
many
reason it
years.
should be this like this. Like they don't try and do anything else, which is annoying. It's like why have we not even tried Sean Tyler back there on kick or punt return, or like Corey Crooms or Elijah Spencer punt return? Like somebody. Christian Hoskins. What does Christian Hoskins have to do for a touch?
Yeah, I don't know, but something's got to happen. Like for me,
can nobody else catch the ball? Is that the problem? Like, if everybody else just gonna like take it off the chest all game, what is happening?
Yeah, but for me, I want Redding benched. He's in the doghouse.
It needs to happen. It's crazy. Sean Tyler fumbles the ball twice. Nothing bad happens to you, and he hasn't seen the field.
Yeah.
In 3 games. Quentin Redding makes multiple plays per game that hurt you, including the one against Northwestern, which probably loses you the game.
Oh yeah, in the end zone. Oh,
the touchback probably loses you the game. I don't know how they get out of their own end zone. You know?
Mm-hmm. But yeah. Okay. We're done with special teams. Moving on. We will be previewing our next gamer. So this Saturday, the Golden Gophers will be facing the Michigan Wolverines, currently number 2 in the AP poll, also at 5-0 for the Little Brown Jug rivalry trophy. All I can say is Michigan is looking very, very good.
They look scary.
Yeah.
It looks very scary, I think is the word.
Yeah. Or I will say this, my my manager at my workplace is a Michigan fan, and they said, "Yeah, we whooping butt." And I was like, "Yep, you guys are."
Sure.
But going on from there, JJ McCarthy is their starting quarterback. He was their quarterback last season, who brought them to the uh, playoffs for college football. He is currently at 83 105 passing, 1,071 yards, 10 touchdowns to 3 interceptions. Led by running back room Blake Corum, who returned back for this season. He's at 74 carries for 425 yards with 9 tutties this season. And then their defense, I believe, returns like 6, 7, 8 starters from last season as well. So very, very good. Just some overall stats. Their offense has average total yards of 411 yards. And then defense has only allowed 245.8 yards a game. And they, like I said, they're 5-0, winning against ECU, UNLV, BGSU, and then in Big Ten play, beating Rutgers and Nebraska by a huge margin. Like if you look at the results from each game, each team they played only had 7 points or under. So, very, very scary team coming up here.
Yeah.
And the betting odds, if any of those who are betting kind of people, the line is at a -19 for Michigan. Over under is at 46. And it's going to be some cool weather coming up from the looks of it, around 50s, 60s coming up for the weekend.
Ooh, that'll be nice.
So,
I did see an interesting stat about what you said about Michigan, though. I just found it. It said this is the first time Michigan football has started 5-0, with all 5 wins coming by at least 24 points since 1904.
1904?
So they are on a heater right now, too.
And this is also the same team where, well, I believe Jim Harbaugh was on a school self-imposed, was a 3-game suspension. Is that right?
Yeah. Non-conference suspension.
Yeah.
I think that it's really interesting to look at these teams, like offensive and defensive, like EPA. So like their total offensive EPA, ours is 6. Theirs is 56.
Oh.
And it's basically the same for defense too. Ours is -6, which is actually like top 60. Like that's fine. That's pretty good. And then they're 11th with -52.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So they're playing very, very well right now.
Very, very well. That I don't know. There's so much, but also so little that we can talk about. But I think since we are Golden Gophers pocket, I think we should cover, I think, probably keys of the game for us to get an upset. Let's start an offense.
Oh yeah, no, we're putting them on upset alert. Don't worry.
So
we're gonna work. I really want to see us hang around and see what and just see what happens.
Yeah, but first of all, offense. We previewed it a little earlier. This is the game where Greg Harbaugh better unload everything on the offense, everything that we are fucking good at, to make this a game that we can win, because this defense is very strong. That D line is ferocious. You have a very experienced defensive backfield as well. And this is a game where
this is a team that could compete for a national title, right? That's the goal.
Yep.
For them.
And I think this is the kind of game where you have to get creative. Like, we mentioned those things earlier in the podcast here, Soup, that, try to give Ethan easy completions and throws. But also, I think we also got to go to what has been PJ's offense bread and butter, which is the RPO game as well. Because we haven't really seen a lot of that. We usually seen a lot with Kirk Shiraka, who was his OC, who happened to also lost with Rutgers to 2 weeks ago.
Kirk is cooking though.
I know.
Rutgers. He's cooking.
He is. But no, this is the game that I think we got to unleash everything. Like there's nothing, like if there's, I don't want to see a vanilla play call this game, if that makes sense.
And we need Cody Lindenberg so bad.
Yes. Any news? Actually, speaking of that, we digress. But any news on Crab?
I'm just saying, if I wouldn't worry about Crab. He's really not seeing many, if any, relevant snaps. Right.
Okay. But yeah, Cody Lindenberg.
I want him to get healthy, and that's, I think, the priority for him right now too.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they have like Lemecki might be hurt for a little bit. So
yeah, that was yeah, he got rode up on pretty bad that last game too.
He might be hurt. So like, but I think Chris still needs a little more time.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's. Ow, sorry, I'm getting attacked by a kitten here. What were you saying?
I wasn't saying anything, but I think this is the game where I think we should see all of our star power on the offense. Like,
if you're the offense, you're emptying the clip, right?
Yep. Like inside zone, outside zone, anything to help the running backs out against this really, really good rushing defense.
Also, like, just let Ethan rip it. Just let him go. Because you got no chance of winning if he's not going to do that.
Yeah.
So you either let him try, or like,
who's our fastest receiver in that room? Crooms?
Christian Hoskins, technically.
Hoskins. Just have him
Crooms.
Just book it down the field on that vertical route and just sling it.
Yeah. I think they've got something up their sleeve for sure. I think you're going to see some stuff.
Yeah. Defense.
I think you'll see them working some concepts that they liked from last game and stuff that they know Ethan's good at, but I think you'll see some like fun wrinkles.
Oh, definitely. While we're hubble jumble everything, a lot of things here. Defense, obviously we chimed in about Cody Lindenberg. We're hoping he's back. The leader.
I have no idea what's going there, but we need someone to tackle Blake Corum, because if you don't do that, he's going to hurt you. If you miss these tackles in the run game on him, you are going to get punished.
Hella punished. So hopefully Joe Rossi's coming up with an amazing game plan, but also
they've been pretty solid against the run for the most part, but they've given up explosive plays for touchdowns.
Yeah, and
it's that like Blake Corum is going to do that to you multiple times if you let him.
Mm-hmm.
This is easily the best back they've faced in a while. So,
definitely, he is the best back I think so far.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you could make an argument he's the best in college, right? Like, it's going to be very interesting to see if those missed tackles end up really, really hurting.
Yeah. So looking at you linebackers.
Yeah, please.
And then obviously special teams, don't want to see Redding on the return game. Give us Sean Tyler or someone else. Please.
I think but you like the philosophy of like you want JJ to beat you. Like let JJ beat you, that's fine. Mm-hmm. Let Tyler Newbin, Justin Wally, Jack Henderson. You've got a good DB room. Let them go. Like they'll be good.
Man on man.
Yeah. Well, maybe not man, all man, but I don't let them make plays for you and just worry about, I think they're really going to be focused on making sure they stuff the run this week.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to need I think multiple picks.
Yep. But also I see a game scenario where points are going to be hard to come by, especially against this Michigan defense. So if we can get into field goal range for Dragon's leg.
Defensive touchdown. Give it to me.
Oh, that too. But I think if we get to situations where offense gets stunted, but we're on the 30-yard line or something like that, something that Dragon can kick, we'll take that too, because so far he's been very accurate for us all season, and he has the big leg.
I think it's so situational. I think they trust him inside of 55 basically.
Hmm.
And it's so situational though, because if it's like fourth and short and you're on their 40 or something, go go for it early in
Yeah.
the game. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
go for the touchdown. Like
Yep.
come like fourth and 2 or 3. Like if you've had success and you've come this far, just do it. Like let's go. You know,
Yeah.
I would understand obviously taking the points. Like at the end of the day, everybody's fine with the field goal, but I think you just want to see the philosophy of like going after it and not like this is not one of those teams that you have to be scared. You're going to be scared to beat. You know what I mean? Like you have to beat this team. And I like are they going to like like that's if they ever have a chance to put them away, you know what I mean? Like I think it's just about the mentality of like going and doing it instead of being like, well, let's make sure nothing bad happens and hopefully we come out on top. It's
Yep.
like no, like let's do this thing, you know, like let's really get after it. And I need to see that mentality like right away.
Oh, for sure. And also, it's a night game too. 6:30 p.m. kickoff on NBC. It's gonna be a fun time. But yeah, it's gonna be a very tough game, but also a fun game. I'm excited to see what the boys can put on the field. But is there anything else you want to mention about this rivalry game coming up for our boys?
I would love to see Darius Taylor healthy. That would be nice.
Oh, me too. Hopefully he gets back in time for the games to see him and Zach Evans just lead the way on the running backs for the offense. But let's get on to predictions then. So, preseason, I said dub.
Feeling good about that one?
Feeling good about it still. Upset. I say the Gophers win 28-25.
You're such a mad lad. I love it.
And here's my scenario. Do you remember in 2015 when Michigan fumbles the snap to punt the ball away because Michigan State in 2015? That still
Yes.
lives vicariously in my head. So I'm calling it we are down by 4, so it's 21-25.
Sure.
Michigan messes up the snap. We pick up special teams redeems itself by picking up the ball, run into the end zone. We win 28-25. Again, that's very cuckoo of
Sure.
me, but
Why don't
I'm drinking
but
that Kool-Aid.
why don't you do it for the field goal instead? Because then it'll be like App State instead, and that
True.
hasn't happened in a while. And then it'll be like another. You had a punt that everybody's remembering, and then oh now you have another kick that you're remembering, and then you could start replaying all the App State ones.
Yep.
Yeah. See, so if you're writing the script that way, I would go with the kick. I think in like a tie game with like time expiring, the Gophers block you know, they everybody like grabs Quentin Redding and like throws him over the pile, and he intercepts the kick in midair and runs it back for a touchdown with no time on the clock.
There you go.
That's how there you go. That's if I'm writing the script for you. That's I think what you should.
I'm okay with that. But yeah, I am sticking to my preseason prediction and that we win 28-25. So, yeah.
I'm gonna go Michigan 31, Gophers like 20. I don't know.
Okay.
31-20, sure.
So you're not having Michigan cover that spread.
No. I think we'll keep it close, and we just won't be able to keep up once they finally kind of break loose.
If I had to be the like going back, like not like I was high and lofty, but that will win. But if I see it as losing, it is like kind of like what the Rutgers game 2 weeks ago, where Michigan and Rutgers were pretty close throughout the first half.
Yeah, I saw that,
and then like it just
I totally agree.
Gave it up a second half, which I could see the Gophers doing, but then with how the defense has been playing,
that'll definitely be how like both of us want the game to start is for like it to just stay close. But in the second half, like if we just don't keep them from pulling away, I I don't think like I'm not sure what they'll do about having to score points in a hurry.
Yeah, because I think
I
looking
think you're
at
going to
it,
have to put up more than 20 to win this game, and I just don't think they will.
yeah, that could happen. But cool. So for those planning to go, as Soup mentioned, is looking like a sellout. So good luck trying to find tickets. But like I mentioned earlier, this is gonna be a night game,
It's a night
6:30.
game on NBC.
Yep, and NBC. So if you're watching the TV on NBC, if you're at the game, enjoy the time. Come in for some tailgating. Soup will be there.
Yes, I will.
Have a good time.
Had
And
a great time with Griffin.
true. Did he take any shotguns or shots?
I don't recall.
All right. But yeah, everyone enjoy the game this Saturday. We will return in 2 weeks. So again, like I said, after this game this Saturday, we'll have the bye, so no podcast, and then we'll return the week after that to recap the Michigan game, and then preview another rivalry game against the Iowa Hawkeyes for the Florida Rosedale for the official episode 69, because we had to put on.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah.
That's perfect, actually.
So have a great time, everyone. We'll talk to you soon. And row the boat, Skyma, go Gophers.